Cool. Okay, I'd like to call to order the City of Sumner City Council meeting. The date is the 4th of October and the time is 6:01. As a reminder, COVID-19 pandemic continues to impact the health and safety of our community. In an effort to be diligent, the city is continuing to conduct all public meetings virtually using the Zoom platform. Access information can be located on the city's website and on each meeting agenda. As the pandemic evolves and when it is safe to do so, we look forward to welcoming everyone back to City Hall for in-person and hybrid meetings in our newly remodeled council chambers. And with that, I would ask that you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and then we'll move on to invocation. And we don't have Cher with us, but we have the Reverend Pam Osborne. Pam, go ahead.
Yes, will you join with me in prayer? Gracious God, I give you thanks for this beautiful day, and as we move into the seasons, your continuing blessing on this community. I give you thanks for a community that cares for one another and the hands that make that possible, and ask for your continual wisdom as our community leaders work to care for our community tonight. Amen.
Thank you very much, Pam. And if you leave us, have a very nice evening. Okay. Michelle, would you please call the roll? Or not Michelle? Noel, could you please call the roll?
Yes, thank you. Bitetto?
Here.
Brown?
Here.
Hayden?
Here.
Hamilton?
Here.
Hochstadter?
Here.
Newman?
Here.
And Reed.
Here.
All council members are present. Thank you very much. At this point, I would like to call on Councilmember Reed for a motion to amend the agenda. Councilmember Reed.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to amend tonight's agenda to remove items A and B from executive session.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember Reed. Could I get a second to that?
I'll second.
Thank you. Seconded by Councilmember Hamilton. Just for clarification, those two items that we have under executive session just aren't ripe for consideration by the council, but we still will be going into executive session. Okay. With that, we have two proclamations tonight. The first one has to do with Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And what I'd like to do is to, City Attorney Marquez.
Thank you, Mayor. Could we get a vote on that motion to amend the
I
agenda,
am
please?
so sorry. Ready to rock through this thing. All those in favor of amending the agenda as described, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say nay. Hearing none, the agenda is amended. Thank you very much, Andrea. With that, under proclamations, I would first like to read the proclamation, the first one on Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and then call on Tanya for some comments. The proclamation is recognizing Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Whereas domestic violence is a confrontation between family or household members involving physical harm, harassment, sexual assault, threats of physical harm, and stalking. And whereas domestic violence is a crime that affects men, women, children, families, neighborhoods, and communities. And whereas on average, 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men in the United States will experience domestic violence by an intimate partner during their lifetime. And whereas according to the National Domestic Violence Hotline, calls for domestic violence assistance were up in 2020 due to the added stress, isolation, financial strain, and increased proximity to their abusers caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. And whereas children who grow up in violent homes are likely to also be abused or neglected and are more prone to domestic violence as adults. And Whereas through its legal department, the city helps support victims and develop safety plans as well as prosecute crimes related to domestic violence to hold perpetrators accountable for their actions. And whereas the city of Sumner believes that our community, including every residence, should be a place of safety for all individuals. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the city of Sumner once again declares October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month and encourages all citizens to actively stand against domestic violence in our community, dated the 4th day of October, 2021. And I'd like to call on Exodus Housing Executive Director, Tanya Tunnell Thornhill. Tanya.
Hello, thank you, Mayor and council members and attendees of this meeting. I'm not sick. I don't have a cold. Sorry, my voice is weird. My allergies are acting up, so I apologize about that. Thank you very much for having me here tonight. As you know, domestic violence is not decreasing. It is in fact increasing with COVID going on. And so we've had an additional services, more families than ever that we've served. In fact, we're at about 116 families to date that we have served. And just so a lot of you know, if you don't know our agency, we house and provide case management services to families that are fleeing domestic violence. So they become homeless after fleeing, and then we work with them and local shelters to get them back into housing. And then we provide services to help them get back on their feet, whether that means helping them get a job or getting some sort of training or education to get a job. And in some cases, some of our clients won't be able to work. So then it's helping them figure out, okay, well, how can we increase your income? Are you eligible for state services? Can you get some child support? Can you bring on a roommate eventually to help you stay housed? Because the goal is that everybody at exit remains housed and is in a better position than they were when they first got into the program. Right now, we are serving about 76 families, and there is only 4 of us doing that. So we are a tiny agency doing a lot of work. And I'm thinking we're probably going to serve maybe 10 more families before the end of the year. So we'll be at about 125 families by the time we get to the holidays. So I would love any support you guys can offer us. We are looking to collect gift cards for Christmas to hand out to our families. Because of COVID, we're not doing Christmas gifts this year. We're just going to do gift cards. We also provide essential needs for our families. So if anybody's interested in collecting those, feel free to email me at tanya@exodushousing.org. Does anybody have any questions about our services? What else we do?
Okay, Tanya, number one, thank you very much for being here tonight, and thank you for everything that you and your staff does at Exodus House. I mean, it is a huge issue that is just increased exponentially with COVID due to the circumstances. Council members, any comments or questions that you have regarding domestic violence or regarding Exodus House and what Tanya and her staff do? I'll call on Councilmember Reed and Councilmember Newman.
I just want to say, Tanya, a quick thank you to you and everyone there for the work you guys are doing. It's really amazing.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Councilmember Newman.
Is it the same? And sorry that it's unfortunate that the need continues to grow, but thank you for taking on those additional families. And then will you please just either email council later about ideal locations for gift cards, like if there are certain stores that are more ideal than others, anything like that. More details about how we as individuals can be helpful.
I would be happy to do that. Thank you so much. I will do that tomorrow.
Councilmember Newman, thank you for that suggestion. And Tanya would welcome that information. It would help us. We want to, whatever we get to you, want to be used, most beneficially as possible. So that'd be great. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And, yes, and thank you for the help that you have given us, our agency, over the years. I meant to say that also.
Okay, thank you, Tanya. Councilmember Hochstetter, did you? Yep, go ahead.
I just wanted to thank Tanya for continuing to serve our community. She's done a really wonderful job, and it's really runs well under her leadership. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Cindy.
Okay. Okay, get that information to us, Tanya, and we can see what we can do to help you out.
Sounds great. Thank you.
And thank you very much. Okay, then we move on to the second proclamation, which has to do with healthcare heroes. And again, I'll read the proclamation and I'll call on, I think all three people are present here. So the proclamation has to do with healthcare, easy for me to say, Healthcare Heroes Month. Whereas many have chosen the healthcare profession as their calling, serving patients with expertise and compassion. And whereas our nation is deep in the second year of one of the worst pandemics in its history as a result of COVID-19, and whereas physicians, nurses, EMTs, and others who work in healthcare are dedicated to relieving pain and suffering, even while risking their own lives and the well-being of their families, and whereas we all rely on the knowledge, service, and compassion of our healthcare workers to assist us when we struggle with COVID-19, cancer, leukemia, MS, dementia, flu, and the many, many other health challenges we all face throughout our lives. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City of Sumner joins other regional jurisdictions in declaring October 2021 as Healthcare Heroes Month. We urge everyone to join us in offering heartfelt support for our healthcare workers. Two good options are donating to Multicare Foundation through Sumner's own Come Walk With Me, or donate to Toscano's effort to feed local healthcare professionals, dated the 4th day of October 2021. And we have three people with us tonight. We have Christy Hartway, Chief Nurse Executive at Good Sam Hospital. And we have Tara Doyle-Eniken, who's with the Sumner, Puyallup. I always get Sumner Puyallup, it should be that way, but we'll go Puyallup Sumner Chamber of Commerce. And then we have Sean Fisher. And Sean, I'm sorry, I didn't get my notes where you're from, but you can tell us. So go ahead, why don't you start out and tell us about the proclamation and everything involved.
Hi, good evening, everyone. This is Christy Hartway, Chief Nurse Executive at Good Samaritan Hospital in Puyallup. So first of all, thank you to the mayor and council members. And I am extremely honored to accept this proclamation on behalf of the multi-care system. So as the Chief Nurse Executive for Good Samaritan Hospital, I am really humbled by the dedication, the commitment, and the courage of our frontline staff who for 19 months have been caring for very sick COVID patients. The past, I would say 2 months with our recent 5th wave of COVID patients has really been extremely challenging. We have seen a very different age population who have been suffering from COVID. Unfortunately, one of the younger patients not surviving. So that's taken, I would say, a bigger toll on our frontline staff. And we're really doing all we can to keep supporting our staff. They keep coming in day after day and keep, taking care of the patients to the best of their ability. But I have to say the support that we've received from the surrounding communities have really been heartwarming. And, we are truly blessed to be able to continue serving the community. We're hopeful that at some point in the near future, we will see the end of this pandemic. I wish I had a crystal ball and I don't, but you know what? We'll just keep doing it day after day. So again, thank you all very much. It really means a lot.
Thank you very much, Christy. Appreciate your comments and appreciate all the hard work of you and your staff. I couldn't imagine doing it, day after day after day for the length of time that they've been doing it. It's just truly amazing. Tara or Sean?
Sure. I'll go. And again, Mayor, council members, members of the community, thank you. This proclamation is just a great way to kind of, punctuate what is already a program that is worthwhile. It brings a lot of attention to the heroes that, as she mentioned at Multicare, are not forgotten by any means. As we're trying to move on with regular life, there's just still such heartache happening. And I think that this is a win-win for the business community and for healthcare when you look at a program like South Sound Heroes, which is what we have partnered with the Pierce County, EDB, the Tacoma Chamber, and other South Sound chambers to bring a website together, a donation platform where members in the community can donate $25 to purchase 3 meals. And the restaurants, in the community would be, Farm 12 in our area. I believe we have River's Edge as well. So we're still working on the list of different restaurants that can benefit. So by purchasing for $25, you'll be purchasing 3 meals for these workers. $250 donation will purchase 30 meals, and $500 will purchase 60. So these restaurants have, skimmed off a little bit to make it very reasonable, but they do get the benefit directly to them. And then we will join in efforts to get these meals delivered to the community. So just a great worthwhile effort at southsoundheroes.org. And the goal is to raise $100,000.
There you go. Okay, Tara, so far I think you named 2. One was Farm 12 and the other one was River's Edge. But as that expands, it would be helpful, to get that information out, not only to our council members, but to our community. And
Yep.
more people participate, easier it is to get to those donation levels.
You got it. Will do.
Okay, thank you. Sean.
Hi there. I'm a nurse at St. Joseph's Hospital in Tacoma. I'm representing the Virginia Mason Franciscan Health Medical System. And I want to thank you, Mayor, and the council people for the recognition and the proclamation. It does mean a lot to us. And it has been such a team effort from the politicians, the administrators in the hospital, the caregivers, the housekeepers, the purchasers. It just one little group, if they didn't function well, the whole system doesn't function well. And it definitely has been a challenge, but it's been very rewarding taking care of these especially ill patients. So again, thank you very much, and thank a caregiver.
Thank you very much, Sean. And again, both Christy and Sean, and nothing against you, Tara, but thank you for the first line people that are out there, keeping your staff going. That's its own special, strain and burden. And again, we're all blessed because of your efforts. So thank you. Keep the faith, and we'll see what we can do.
Thank you so much. Have a great evening.
Okay. I'm sorry, council members, anybody that would like to comment? I've been hogging the show here. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to all of our guests tonight who put themselves out there to help other people, and bravo. Thank you, all of you.
Okay. Hey, thank you very much. You can stick around. If you did, we would say, oh, wait a minute. Councilmember Botetto, see your hand raised.
Yeah. So, I want to say thanks. This evening, I spoke with my daughter, who's a PT at St. Francis, and she said, it's the day today, the increased numbers that they're seeing, that, it does get stressful for everybody. So we appreciate all that you're doing, and we'll see if there's a way that I can, help out or let other people know, especially about the meals program. And then Chris Arnold, who used to work for Multicare, she's also collecting items, to give to the hospital staff just to show support. So we thank you. And then also to the, Exodus House, I'm sure you're seeing more numbers than, you would care to see, but we're glad that you're offering your service. So thanks.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Botetto. Any other council members or comments? Okay. Oh, go ahead, Councilmember Hochstetter.
Could Tara maybe explain to me exactly how the gift cards work to get the meals to the nurses and things? Do they receive the card, or is it something else?
We, as I understand it, I wish I was the mastermind behind it. I am a collaborator. And as I understand it, we have agreed for the restaurant deliveries and the healthcare workers that are in our particular area, we're using all of these gift cards that you're purchasing online to then go purchase a number of meals at a time, and then we will go deliver the meals to the care workers. I don't know if that's the only avenue, but I know that's the avenue that my ask was part of.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I can follow up too with all of you for the link and any other information that I find along the way, as it is a brand new program, and we were so happy you were so quick to respond on this to let us include it.
Yeah, Tara, thank you. That would be really helpful. Yeah, just get the information to us. We can get it out to not only the council, but also the community through our social media means and newsletters. Thank you. Okay. Well, thank you again, all of you. You're welcome to stick around. We'll know if you do so that you truly are on the edge from working all those hours and everything else, and be better maybe to leave and go refresh yourself to the degree possible.
Thank you so
anyway,
much. Have a great evening.
Okay, take care. Thank you very much. Okay, then we move on to the consent agenda. And Noelle, could you please read the consent agenda?
Item number 1, approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting of September 20th, 2021, the September 27th, 2021 study session, and the special meeting of September 27th, 2021. Item number 2, diversity, equity, and inclusion training consultant agreement. Item number 3, approval of checks and electronic payments in the amount of $2,151,466.89.
Okay, thanks, Noelle. Would any council member want to remove any of those 3 items for separate consideration? Okay, seeing none, I would call on the deputy mayor for a motion.
I move we approve the consent agenda as read.
Could I get a second to that?
Yes, I'll second that, Mayor.
Been seconded by Councilmember Hochstetter. Okay, all those in favor of adopting the consent agenda as presented, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say nay. Okay, the ayes have it and the consent agenda is adopted. Move on to public hearing. There are no public hearings tonight. So we'll move on to regular business. First thing is unfinished business. There is no unfinished business. So we'll move on to a public comment. First, I would ask Noelle, public was encouraged to submit comments to the city clerk by email before tonight's meeting. And I asked Noelle if there were any public comments that were submitted that she could read into the record.
No public comments were received.
Okay, then let me check the attendees. Okay, I would ask if there's any of the members of the public that are either listening or watching this that would like to address the council on any item that is not on the agenda. You can do so by using the raise your hand feature on the Zoom platform that you can see at the bottom of the screen, or by pressing *9 on your phone. Anybody that would like to address the council on any item that is not on the agenda? Seeing and hearing none, we'll dispense with the rules regarding public comment and close public comment. And we'll move on to new business. First item under new business is Murray's disposal. Murray's disposable. Nah, that doesn't work, Josh. Murray's disposal agreement amendment, and I would call on Deputy Mayor Hayden for a motion.
I move to authorize the mayor to execute an amendment to the agreement with Murray's Disposal.
Could I get a second to that motion? Anybody, please.
I'll second.
Thank you, Councilmember Reed. I thought we were going to lose that one for lack of a second. Okay, I would call on Administrative Services Director Jeff Steffens. Mr. Steffens.
Good evening. The city's service agreement with Murray's Disposal is set to expire on February 28th, 2022. The parties have proposed an amendment to the current agreement that would extend the termination 10 additional years to February 28th, 2032. Also proposed are some changes to the billing and customer service section of the agreement. The proposed changes are relatively minor and make some light modifications to Murray's billing and collection procedures, including giving them added authority to pursue payments on past due accounts. Joining us this evening to help answer questions is Josh Metcalf, District Manager for Murray's.
Unmute myself, sorry. Before we call on Mr. Metcalf for any answers, I would, well, never mind. I won't do that. We already have it out there. Mr. Metcalf, anything you'd like to say to the council?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Happy to be before you again. I just like to open it up for any questions the council may have. Mr. Steffens outlined our proposal very well. And again, I appreciate the opportunity to be before you this evening.
Thank you very much, Josh. Members of the council, questions or comments? Questions for either Jeff or Josh, or comments on the item before you? Mr. Reed.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to clarify from study session, we had the opportunity to ask quite a few questions. And one of those was whether or not the 10-year extension versus a 3-year or 5-year agreement was standard. And it was not anything unusual or out of the ordinary. So I wanted to clarify that should people watch this later and say, whoa, 10 years, but it's not something uncommon, especially when it's under a common everyday utility. So I just wanted to point that out. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Councilmember Reed. As I recall, it was likened to some of the franchises, that we have, which are typically longer term in nature. So thank you for that clarification. Any other questions or comments by council members? Councilmember Hochstetter.
I'll just note that we grilled Mr. Metcalf quite thoroughly, and he did a good job of completely answering our questions. So thank you, Josh. That's good.
You're very welcome, and thank you for that kind comment.
Yeah, it's nice to grill somebody every once in a while like that. Yeah. Okay, seeing no other council comments or questions, I would ask if there's any member of the public that would like to address the council on this issue. You do so by using the raise your hand feature at the bottom of your screen or pressing *9 on your phone. Okay, Pat Cole, I've just allowed her to talk. I think you're upgraded, Pat, so you can unmute yourself on your video and address the council.
Thank you for entertaining my question. I'm just curious, I did not hear the study session, but I'm curious to know if there is an opportunity actually for amendments during that 10-year process, meaning additional services to be offered.
Josh? Jeff?
Yeah, sorry, Mayor. I wasn't sure if that was directed to me.
I think it's a good question. It's a long time, and I think I know the answer, but it's better probably coming from you.
Yeah. So really, the agreement allows either party to approach the other with requests to make amendments to the agreement. Specifically, when it comes to services, Murray's takes its guidance from the county with regard to which services we are to provide. The city of Sumner, like all other cities throughout Pierce County, are all part of a solid waste system, an agreed upon solid waste system. And Murray's, as I like to say, is very good at taking direction.
Okay,
I think the answer is basically yes.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other members of the public? I do not see any other members of the public that would like to address the council. So I would call for a vote. Noel, could you please call the roll?
Sorry, I was having technical difficulties there. Okay. Newman,
Yes.
Hayden,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Bitetto,
Yes.
Hochstatter.
Yes.
It passes unanimously. Thanks, Josh, for all your hard work, and have a nice evening, sir.
Thank you. You as well. I appreciate you all.
Thanks. That brings us to reports, and reports by the city council is first. Deputy Mayor Hayden.
Well, I really don't have any. I've not been anywhere. I don't have a thing tonight.
Okay. Councilmember Hamilton.
I just want to thank the people that were on tonight. Exodus Housing is a great organization, and having all the healthcare workers to have them to talk about them and appreciate what they do is great. So, and then on another note, got homecoming week next week, or this week. So Friday is the parade, and got the football game. So looking forward to that.
Okay. Thank you very much, Councilmember Hamilton. Councilmember Hochstetter.
Nothing this evening, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. Councilmember Brown.
Those votes.
Thank you, Councilmember Brown. Councilmember Newman.
Yes, in addition to the many other awareness issues in the month of October, I was reminded today that it is also, I think, Polio Awareness Month this month, which I had not remembered. And so I wanted to thank Rotary and then the other private businesses for their involvement over the last years to help eradicate it through the use of vaccines.
I was waiting for the punchline there. Thank you. Okay. Councilmember Bitetto.
Yeah, it's like 4 weeks till election. So if you aren't registered to vote, I looked here, it's if you go to votewa.gov, you can sign up to vote, and you have until at least 8 days before the election. So just encourage everybody to use their rights to vote. So that would be it.
Very good reminder, Councilmember Bitetto. Councilmember Reed.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tonight, I just want to share my appreciation for all first responders, healthcare workers, and state employees. Today marked an important cutoff date that unfortunately, in my opinion, I believe is going to bring some unintended adverse reactions in the short and long term. And I just want those folks to know that they have my support.
Okay, sorry, trying to get the mouse on the right screen. Thank you very much, Councilmember Reed. We'll move on to reports from the city administrator, Mr. Wilson.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Coming up at next week's study session, we're going to be talking about the Sumner Meadows purchase and sale agreement. We are going to be proposing another extension to that purchase and sale agreement. We'll also be going over the non-represented employee salary study results with council. At the next regular council meeting on October 18th, you'll be considering an ordinance amending the 2021 compensation schedule, as well as adopting the 22 compensation schedule, an ordinance adopting the third quarter biennial budget amendments, an ordinance amending the International Building and Fire Building Code, an ordinance amending the interchange commercial zoning code, and hopefully approving that purchase and sale agreement extension for Sumner Meadows. On the personnel issue front, we are currently recruiting for a municipal court judge, which is a part-time, just so everybody is aware, Judge Jenkins is going to be retiring at the end of the year. So we need to fill that position. That is a mayoral appointment that is confirmed by council. We're currently recruiting for either an associate engineer or public works project manager. And we hope to open up the records management specialist position later this week. For significant development, I'm happy to say the sidewalk improvement program is going wonderfully. I encourage you to visit our project page to see weekly updates on where the contractor will be working. For the record, this week, they're going to be working on Kincaid, Sumner, and Cherry Avenues. Also exciting, the Kincaid Avenue Apartments, which is the former Red Apple, has started some activity. So developers are beginning the site remediation work, and this will involve excavating a large portion of the property and refilling with clean material. And I just want to say this is such an exciting first step towards redevelopment of that property. I also wanted to touch base on the pandemic. Obviously, we all know that it's still spreading in our community. COVID activity among our staff remains high, with several employees being affected or having close contact exposures. We are continuing to monitor those impacts, and we'll be working with the mayor to make service level changes if necessary. And as several of you alluded, it is homecoming week. So the parade is this Friday at 4:30. If you are interested in being part of that parade, please be at Heritage Park at 4 o'clock. Don't forget your mask. And also please RSVP to Lana Hoover, Lana H at sumnerwa.gov, so we can make sure we have the appropriate head count. Right now, she only has that Reed and Hayden will be present. So if you're planning on Hamilton, I'll mark you down. Anybody else? I can just take that now if you want.
Yeah, I sent my email to Lana Hochstetter.
Okay. I will include you guys. That's it for tonight. Thank you.
Glad to see that nothing's going on, Jason. Okay. Brings us to mayor's report. And mayor has no report tonight. We're going to move on to executive session. And we're going to adjourn from the regular meeting again into executive session. And you have an email that was sent to you from Andrea at 5:37. So what you're going to do again is you're going to leave this meeting, then you're going to click on that email. It'll bring you the link to take us into executive session. Okay, and then at the end of executive session, you will leave that meeting and you'll go back to the link that you used to get into this meeting. So then we can adjourn. So that being that simple, we're going to adjourn the regular meeting into executive session for the purpose of discussing with legal counsel labor negotiations pursuant to RCW 4230-140 subsection 4 for a period not to exceed 15 minutes. And then after that 15 minutes, we will reconvene and there will be no action which will follow. Did I get that right, Andrea? Okay. Leave this
Mayor,
meeting, you go to the other one.
Mayor, I'm sorry to interrupt. I believe Councilmember Hochstetter has a question.
Okay, just a second. Let me bring it over here so I can see her. Go ahead, Councilmember Hochstetter.
Well, it's just that the change we made at the beginning of the meeting was just that we were not going to vote on these items today.
We removed those two items from the agenda, so that those were the action items and we will not be considering them at this point.
All right, thank you.
But we're still going to go into executive session.
And we have to change from this because she's already got the.
We have to go into a different meeting.
Okay, thank
so
you.
Go to the 5:37 email.
Yep.
Executive session will be extended by 2 minutes.
Wow, congratulations. That was a better transition going back into regular session. That was good. And we may not, let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, missing Cindy, I believe, but she may be joining in a meeting that has already been adjourned since we have enough. Well, seeing that there's no more business to be conducted by the city council, this meeting is adjourned at 6:57. Take care, everyone, and nice work, staff.
Good night, everyone.